third season of the V10 R League began with 10 teams. 4 of them made it here to Yas Island, here in Abu Dhabi, where the ferocious heat outside was matched with ferocious racing out on track.
Now it's down to just 2 teams. Will it be TeamRedline or Mercedes-AMG? Now all that's left to say is...
It's time to hit pedal to the metal for the grand final of the V10 R League. Let's go, 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 go. Redline score the first win. Enzo Benito to win at Spa-Francorchamps. Pedal to the metal for the final race. Benito around the final corner to cap a 1-2-3 for Team Redline. Sensational. It's Huis. He takes victory. Pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Mercedes score big in the Silverstone relay event.
Welcome to the grand final of the V10 R League. We're here in Yas Mall in Abu Dhabi. We've got 2 amazing teams who are going to battle it out for this trophy that is behind us. I'm your host for today, Hayden Gullis. I'm joined by George Morgan and Steph Wentworth. We've had the best 2 days of racing. We're going to get some more action. Steph, what's been your highlight so far of these 2 days?
Well, it's been a real treat. I have to say the battle yesterday between Yassi and Mercedes, extremely intense and fierce racing between the 2 of them. Absolutely fantastic. And these 2 teams that we're about to watch go head to head are just as fierce and ferocious. So it's going to be really exciting to see what they can do.
George, other than, of course, the trophy and the grand prize on offer today, what makes this match so exciting?
I just think the gravity of it. I mean, these 2 have fought before in the group stages. I'm looking forward to seeing who comes out on top. 2 juggernauts, certainly in this championship. I'm buzzing.
Well, we've got 2 teams in the grand final. Let's take a look just how they got here through the semi-finals as we take a look at the matches we have seen so far. Yesterday we had 2 semi-finals. It was Team Redline who made their way here by beating R8G Esports. Yas Heat lost to Mercedes 3-1 as well. Then Yas Heat and R8G had a bit of redemption. They fought in the 3rd place playoff with Yas Heat being victorious 4-0 win up against R8G. And this is the match that we've all been waiting for. It's Team Redline versus Mercedes-AMG Petronas Esports. What an exciting matchup. Here's the bracket as well, just how they got to this final. These 2 teams went up against each other in the last stage of the group stages. We had to wait all the way to the end. It's no surprise that we waited so long because they're fighting each other again, Steph. And it's going to be brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely.
We've seen these 2 teams fight each other before, and it was a brilliant battle, ended in a draw. I wonder if that's what we're going to see tonight. You know, it's going to be top racing.
Well, these 2 teams, they had to make their way here somehow. We had 2 semi-finals yesterday. Mercedes took on Yas Heat in the 2nd game, but Team Redline versus R8G. It was a very strong performance from Redline. What separated those 2 teams yesterday?
I just think if you look at the ability of some of the drivers, I think obviously strategy came into play as well. Redline seemed to marshal off the attacks in many cases as well. Mercedes, it got very close between them and Yas Heat. Obviously the stewards were very busy towards the end, but credit to both teams. They gave it everything. Mercedes were just that little bit better.
Yas Heat versus Mercedes. We'll get onto that in a bit. We're still looking at Team Redline taking on R8G here at Yas Marina. Enzo Benito getting 2 race wins. We're used to seeing Kevin Siggy on top quite a lot, but it's good for Team Redline to know that Enzo Benito can also back them up, Steph.
100%, and he's been driving fantastically throughout this whole season. Everybody puts, you know, all the impetus on Kevin Siggy, and he is an absolutely fantastic driver, but they're all stocked with incredible talent. Mercedes too, you know, there's no weak links among any of these drivers.
Now, Mercedes, I would say, had a harder route coming into it, just because it was so close between them and Yas Heat yesterday, George. A lot of stewards' decisions going on. I think the stewards are up till 4 in the morning. I'm sure they're going to be hoping for an easier one tonight, aren't they?
I think they would prefer one, and I'd imagine they'd want to get a proper night's sleep as well. But no, it was absolutely superb watching the 2 teams fight it out. Got very, very close. But this is what V10 R League's all about. We'd like the close contests, the vibrant battles. This is what this is all about.
And Steph, there you have it. James Baldwin versus Jana Watme. A lot of the highlights from the relay race. And of course, the 2 teams going head to head. Was there anything to separate those 2 teams at all? Why are Mercedes here?
Well, they both did a fantastic job, you know, not to revisit the past too much, but there was a lot of decisions being made as a result of, you know, the contacts. We had a lot of provisional results, and it went back and forth between the both of them. And I think that just demonstrates how close they were. We could very easily have been seeing Yas here.
Well, not only are the two teams very happy to be here in the final, but they also got a chance to have a chat to you. So shall we see what you had to say?
Lucky them.
Enzo Benito to win at Spa-Francorchamps.
Enzo, congratulations on making it to the grand final, and thank you for having a chat with us on behalf of Team Redline. Just tell us, how amazing does it feel to be here?
It's amazing. And from the hotel, from all the experience that we did, from traveling here, to be competing here against the best team in the world, it's something I will not forget for sure.
What we can do around Abu Dhabi, there's lots to do. So I'm trying to do as much as possible while I'm here.
Things always change when you're on LAN events. It's the first thing that I say to my teammates, because some people are crazy quick from home, but here they encounter, you know, different rigs, different pedals. It's basically who's not the quickest at home anymore, but who is the quickest at adapting at things and not losing pretty much his mind.
Pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Mercedes score big at the Silverstone relay event.
Very exciting to see all the drivers again, because it has been a while since I've seen most drivers apart from my teammates. Because of COVID, it was a bit difficult to do LAN events, of course, but yeah, it's very cool to see everyone together at the LAN event again.
All the races so far, I've been doing the relay starts. I've been starting in first in the relay, so I'm the one that has to get a good start, right? And I got a couple of really good starts that made us our life a little bit easier, and then Kevin jumping in, finishing the job.
I think we were all quite surprised. We managed to battle Redline pretty hard, because they, I think, were the fastest team.
The sim community is fantastic. The esports community rallies around each other. Any messages for those who've been supporting you at home?
Well, thank you guys for watching us and supporting us. Sim racing in general, not just as Team Redline, and hopefully more LAN events, so some of the people that are enjoying watching sim racing all over the world can actually come and visit out on a real site.
I've had a lot of support in basically every sim racing event so far this year. Support has been amazing. I want to thank everyone for that. And now we're going to try and win this V10 R finals.
Winning is something that we always want to do. It's gonna be a click that we will gladly enjoy, and yeah, we'll love it.
It's going to be a lot of pressure in a very short time, so it's all going to come down to that one qualifying lap we're going to get, and those few laps we get in the race.
There we go then. Those two teams, Enzo Benito and Yana Watt, we're talking as well about the matchup that they had before. That one ended in a 2-2 draw, just showing you how close this final is going to be. The unique thing about the V10 R League series is that teams get to pick and ban circuits, but we're not doing that for the finals, because to make it as neutral as possible and not give any teams like some extra practice or the opportunity to ban tracks, we're going to the two most challenging and best circuits in this series. We've got Silverstone and Yas Marina. Silverstone will be up first. George, Silverstone, a really fun track to drive, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'll say it again, the Earl Grey of World Motorsport, and a track I do love, as many people do as well. Plenty of straights, lots of corners, a testing circuit, and plenty of heavy braking points too. So big challenge for the drivers, but we're going to be seeing some action out there.
Then after that, Steph, we'll be heading to Yas Marina. We're already there because it's literally just down the road. A very exciting track, isn't it?
It is indeed, and we've been there this weekend to shoot some fun content, which I'm sure we'll see a little bit later. But yes, fantastic circuit, very, very challenging, a technical Sector 3, lots of off-camber corners, opportunities for the cars to get unsettled, and that's not what the drivers are going to want. You know, they're going to be trying to keep the cars on the track and focused as possible.
There we go then. Those are the tracks that we're going to be racing on in tonight's show. Shall we meet the teams? Bring up the first one. It's Team Redline.
Let's welcome the team as they come out onto the stage now. Brilliant to see them, and a lovely warm welcome from our fantastic audience here. Hi guys, we'll just walk past the trophy, but you can't claim it just yet, but a couple of races to go. Jeffrey, just tell us, how exciting How excited is it for you to be here in the finals right now?
Very exciting. I mean, for me, it's my first LAN ever for sim racing. So to be in the final with my first LAN ever is great. I mean, qualifying wasn't optimal for us, but I think there's still all to play for. So yeah, I'm excited.
Fantastic. Kevin, talk to us a little bit about these 2 tracks you're going to be going to, Silverstone, Yas Marina. You guys are very, very strong on all the tracks you've been to. Are you going to be strong here tonight?
I mean, I think we hope so. I mean, Silverstone was one of our fastest tracks, so I think in the team race we might some more pace. But I mean, in the 11 event, it's always like a random one. So whoever gets used to the equipment, it's fastest. So it doesn't matter how good we are in other tracks, but we'll do our best, and I think we're confident in our abilities and our pace as well. So we'll try our best.
Fantastic. Enzo, let's talk a little bit about this matchup. You know, you've got Mercedes. They're a very tough team to beat. Do you think this is going to be your hardest challenge yet?
We will give it our best, as always. For sure, they are right now the hardest team to beat, but yeah, we will try our best.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys for chatting with us. Go get set up in your rigs. Best of luck for the matchups, and let's say hello to the team they will be facing, Mercedes-AMG Petronas Esports. And the Silver Arrows are going to head out now. We've got Jana Watmere, Cedric Tomei and Bono, who's a very warm reception for both teams. I'm loving the enthusiasm from our audience. Jano, how does it feel to be in the LAN environment with people watching and supporting you?
It's exciting. That's a little bit of pressure, but yeah, should be good.
Fantastic. Bono, you've been a star performer throughout the whole of this experience. Do you think you're going to be the star tonight, or is it all about the team?
That's the plan, yeah, to wrap it up as a team. Qualifying went quite well, so really happy with that. But we saw yesterday that anything can happen and the races will probably be chaos again. So I'll just try and stay out of trouble and see how it goes.
Cedric, you guys have been very strong on both Silverstone and Yas Marina, racking up wins at both of the circuits. Racking up a win tonight?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's Redline, you know, we have to give it our best shot.
Fantastic. Well, you guys get set up in your rigs. Best of luck to you and to Team Redline, both teams. And I'm going to throw it back to Hayden.
Thank you very much, Steph. Whilst the drivers get ready in their rigs now, go off, go get a drink, maybe a snack. And when you come back, we'll be getting into the first of the team relay races. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the grand final of the V10 R League, live from Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. I am your host for today, Hayden Gus. I'm joined by George Morgan and Steph Wentworth. We'll be getting into the first of the team relay races very soon. We're going to be heading to Silverstone. Why is Silverstone, George, such a challenging circuit?
Well, for many reasons. Plenty of cornering, fast speeds, lots of heavy braking too. You got it all. But you don't need me to talk about it, because we've got a hot lap of yours. Should we show the public?
Let's do it. Welcome to Silverstone and welcome to a hot lap of this incredible circuit. Heading down into turn 1, almost flat here. A better driver than me will probably be taking that flat out as we go through turn 2 now. And then into turn 3, hard on the brakes, an overtaking opportunity come race day, and then into the loop where you've just got to be so precise. You can easily lose a lot of time here because you start this long straight where there is an overtaking opportunity, whether you're on the inside or on the outside, you can make a move. Heading down into Brooklands now, hard on the brakes, and just let the car flow through on the left. Take as much curb as you can possibly get away with into Luffield, which is a double apex corner. You want to sort of V-shape it and straighten up the car as much as possible on the exit as we now enter the old start-finish straight through Woodcote and then on towards Copse Corner, which of course has been controversial in recent Formula 1 seasons. Down in towards Copse then, allow the car to run out wide. You don't want to go too far on that AstroTurf though, because it will throw you off the circuit. Through Maggots and Beckett's, really attack these corners. Such a great set of corners to drive in any car, especially this V10 R car. And you just hear the engine just roaring behind you right now as you head down in towards Stowe on the hanger straight, and then hard on the brakes once again and let the car just flow through Stowe once again. Don't get the car out too far wide as that AstroTurf just wants to eat you up and spit you back out. Onto the brakes, into Club and Vale. Very easy to lock up through there, through Vale now, and then again slowly on the power because it's very easy to lose the back end, and across the line, and that is a lap of Silverstone. What a lap, guys. That was incredible, wasn't it, Steph?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. I counted at least 3 missed apexes, but you know what? Commentating and doing the lap at the same time, it's quite a skill, so I'll give you that.
I'll tell you what it was. It was raining, okay, outside, and I thought maybe if I took some wet lines and went wide a bit, it might.
I see.
So clearly, that's what we've done. We're not going to be seeing driving like that. We're going to be seeing these esports drivers hit every single apex, not like myself, and that is why we are watching them today. They are the best of the best, aren't they, Steph?
100%. You know, we've said it time and time again, these drivers, all of the ones that have made it to Abu Dhabi, they are elite at the top level, total professionals, perfectionists, they've got their head in the game, so it's going to be a really, really tough fight.
We're going to be getting into the relay race. In the relay race, we have each driver doing at least 1 lap, and then 1 lucky driver will be designated by the team to do 2, also known as the Joker lap. Now, this brings tactics into play, doesn't it, George?
It does. You've got the option of a Joker lap for one of your drivers, so they can do another run, essentially. So it's all a case of who do they choose to make that happen. You know, it could be the case that they go with someone they've used all season long. It could be the likes of Bono Huis, you know, if you're Mercedes, or you might be Kevin Siggy if you're Team Redline. But, you know, they've got quality talent across the grid, so anyone could do it.
We've been watching this now for 7 weeks, and we've been watching these drivers for 7 weeks, so we've kind of got a working out of their plan. Usually, Mercedes, Jarno, Cedric Tomei, Bono Huis, he does the Joker lap, and then you've got Team Redline, Enzo Benito, Kevin Siggy does the Joker lap, and then Rightfield brings it home. Are we going to be seeing more of the same, Steph?
Well, yeah, we've just seen the matchup graphics on the screen. It's going to be exactly like that. Bono Huis going last, likely to take the Joker lap. Kevin Siggy in the middle, likely to take the Joker lap also. So it could be that we see a little bit of imbalances, you know, a driver out, 1 driver in the pit lane, and it all come together on the final lap where they converge, and hopefully we get a great wheel-to-wheel battle.
Now, we've been here for so long, I think we can call ourselves experts now, but as it is the grand final, you could be tuning in for the first time and not have a clue what this relay race is all about. So why don't you watch this and find out?
In the relay race, all 3 drivers in the team must complete 1 lap each, with drivers swapping out of the car during pit stops. 1 driver per team must complete an extra lap, known as the Joker lap. A Joker lap can be taken at any time during the relay race by any driver on the team. The team that completes all their laps first, including the Joker lap, is declared the winner of the relay race to take 1 point.
We are moments away from that first relay race. Of course, this is a new environment for the drivers. This is, we've mentioned it so many times, a LAN event, local area network event. For the whole series so far, up until the semi-finals and final, it's all been done from home. Now they've flown over to Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi, jumped on these rigs. They've been sharing rigs as well. So they have to become engineers, don't they, Steph, to get them set up and ready for just how they like them.
Yeah, they've got all the tools out and everything. We've had spanners, screwdrivers and whatnot, where they're changing, you know, the pressure of the brakes, changing the configurations of the rigs just to their liking. But it's never going to feel like home. Nothing compares to your home setup, you know, your own chair, your own wheel and the setup that you're used to. So it's going to be tough for these drivers to kind of adapt. But I think all 6 of them have done so brilliantly, having competed in the semi-finals yesterday.
And George, this is a even playing field for everyone now, isn't it? Because they're all in the same scenario.
Yeah, well, they've all had the equal amount of time in order to practice and also at the same time as well to configure their rigs too. So, you know, it's all on them now at this point. It's all up to them. They need to be the ones to make the big decisions.
And we're soon going to be getting into the race. I've heard about less than 1 minute. So do we have any predictions, Steph, going into this race? Can you pick a winner?
Ooh, no, I can't pick a winner, but I know that there's going to be some great wheel-to-wheel battles. I think both of these teams are going to be completely on it getting out of the pit lane, and the gap is going to be very, very small. Otmir and Benito, wheel-to-wheel across the whole first sector, I'm predicting.
Well, Enzo Benito, in the interview that you had with him, said that he's been really good with his starts. We saw yesterday with Jarno Otmir versus James Baldwin, Jarno Otmir was very good with his starts. So is it just going to be neck and neck all the way down through to turn 3?
I would firmly expect it. You know, the first sector, we've seen it. That tends to be where the main overtakes happen, but we're not far away from the game to start. So very shortly, folks, we will be going green. First light, second light, third light, fourth light, fifth light, and the 6th light's lit. And it is pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Jarno Otmir gets the jump as well, leads the way, heading through turn 1. Redline in hot pursuit as well as they try and claim back that lead, certainly as they room into turn 1 now as well. Enzo Benito right on the rear of Jarno Otmir's car as they now move through the next left, out of the loop, very shortly down through towards the Wellington Straight. A very calm and orderly fashion start here, Steph. Unheard of.
Absolutely, it's not unlike anything we've seen before. You know, Enzo Benito talking about his great start. Probably not the best one, but he is right on the tail of Jarno Otmir. 0.3 of a second, the gap between the two of them, going down the international pit straight into Copse and then through Maggots and Beckett onto the hangar straight. You know, there's plenty of opportunities for Enzo to hang on to the back of Jarno Otmir there and close the gap in. As you can see, he's already closing in. Is he going to be able to throw it up the inside of Copse? No, not quite yet, but again, many overtaking opportunities coming up over the lap.
Yeah, Copse Corner, one of the fastest corners in the world of motorsport. They're now working their way, weaving through Maggots and Beckett. They'll then take Chapel Curve. Jarno Otmir leading the way with just half a second separating him and the Italian mastermind Enzo Benito as they now head down through towards Stowe Corner, the next right-hander. They send it. Oh, dearie me, we've had a little bit of a moment there, and it looks like that Mercedes is going to be venturing straight into the pit lane. So we're going to be getting a restart, folks. So again, a little predicament for the drivers to now sort themselves out with.
Yeah, you know, we saw a couple of technical issues as well plaguing the drivers yesterday. Hopefully it doesn't play too much on their minds. Both drivers will be able to get straight back into it. But it's a real great opportunity for Enzo Benito as well to go wheel-to-wheel with Jarno Otmir again. We saw, you know, it was quite clean, quite a quiet start to the race, should we say. So yeah, Jarno getting a really great start off into the distance. So hopefully we'll get a bit more wheel-to-wheel action next time.
Absolutely right. I mean, certainly it was very calm, cool and collected, but it might not be the same again if we go again in our next restart. So do keep it with us, folks. We're going to be in for a real treat. But you're absolutely right. Enzo Benito not quite where he would have wanted to be on that start. So
perhaps a bit of a commentator's curse from
both
of us.
Yeah, we could probably shoulder some of the blame for that, perhaps. Yes, you might be right. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Benito's very, very talented. We've seen his quality out on the circuit. He himself as well as certainly gifted Redline with plenty of wins, pole positions as well, very much like his teammate Kevin Siggy. So he has stacks of form. You would be very surprised not to see him right behind Jarno Otmir at the start.
Yeah, again, like I said, you know, having learnt from what's just happened, they're probably going to make sure that doesn't happen again. So it's definitely up to Jarno as well to make sure he can maintain that lead that he, you know, got at the start of the first race, because for Mercedes it was an ideal start, not one for Redline. So Mercedes is going to want that again, but Redline is going to want a different outcome.
You certainly will indeed, folks. Keep it with us. We're going to be bringing you the restart very, very soon. Of course, it's all going to be on the shoulders once again of Jarno Opmeer and Enzo Benito. And we will be bringing you live action very, very shortly. Here's the replay. We have the replay here of the Mercedes start. Of course, Opmeer leading the charge, and then in behind as well, Redline. We're trying to gain with Enzo Benito coming into turn one. And, you know, Steph, what does he need to do differently as opposed to what he did at the start here?
Well, do you know, he's talked about how fantastic his starts have usually been, and he's absolutely right. You know, he's been an absolute rocket usually. So he just needs to, you know, revert to that form that we've seen previously and just make sure that they were getting a big fight between the both of them. You know, it's not going to be on purpose that he didn't have the optimal start. So I'm sure that's what he's going to be gunning for this time. So will Jarno.
Yeah, absolutely right. So he needs to change it up, perhaps. Well, we will wait and see what Benito can bring to the table. Obviously, these cars, V10 engines, folks. And let's not forget the push-to-pass system, a fabled factor, certainly when it comes to this sort of series. 80 brake horsepower added to the car as well. It gives you that little bit of boost down that long straight. And if you look at Silverstone as a track as well, Steph, you have got the Hangar Straight and the Wellington Straight. Both ample places to utilise that system.
Yeah, you know what we've seen quite frequently in these races is down the Hangar Straight and into Stowe. We see quite a lot of moves being made there. It's a brilliant opportunity to get into the slipstream and close in on a driver. But it's a fast and flowing circuit, so it's really easy to, you know, stay on the back of someone. You know, the first corner we've talked about, lots of overtaking opportunities we've seen going into Brooklands and Luffield. That's been a hot spot for the overtaking. And it's like we mentioned, you know, Sector 1 is just a hot spot for it. So I'm predicting that, you know, once we get this restart underway, which will hopefully be very shortly for you guys, that we're going to see a wheel-to-wheel battle throughout the first few corners by Jarno and Enzo.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's talk about the tail of the tape, shall we? Obviously, Mercedes came into this grand final. 4-0 win against Team Fordzilla, 3-1 win against Red Bull, 2-1 against Aston Martin. That was a defeat, in fact. A draw with Team Redline, which is obviously the final we have here. And we've got a 3-1 win as well for Williams Esports. But that key factor, they came up against Team Redline. We do have the restart coming up within a minute, folks, so we will bring it to you very, very shortly. Team Redline, a bit of a different story. 3-1 win against Red Bull, 3-0 win against Aston Martin, 4-0 win against Fordzilla. A couple of 4-0s between the pairs. They're both capable of those kinds of victories.
Oh, but that's definitely not what we're going to see today. You know,
Definitely
it's going to be
not.
a very close battle between both of them. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a draw on the cards, and we have to work it out on points and qualifying positions. Important to note, whoever qualifies, if the numbers are equal, pole positions will count. And as you can see, folks, the race is soon going to be underway. We're going to have 6 lights on, and we're going to go racing. George, take it away.
Thank you, Steph. Here we go, folks. 6 lights lit. Here we go at Silverstone. Race 1 is underway. Pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Jarno Opmeer now side by side with Benito. Oh, Opmeer spun straight to the start into turn 1. Now that's different. We didn't see that earlier on. Benito leads. Opmeer trying to get the car, try and gather himself here at this point here on lap 1 as they now make their way down through towards the, well, heading down the Wellington Straight certainly will be Benito. Jarno Opmeer has got a little bit of ground to gain. 8.7 seconds, Steph.
Absolutely capable of gaining that time. We're going to see a little bit of a replay, but it looked like there was contact between those two drivers. It kind of spun Opmeer around, and we're going to catch the replay now. As you can see, great start from both drivers again. Enzo back onto it, leading into turn 1, but just touches Jarno's back right wheel, tugs him, and he is sent into a bit of a spin there. So that is not what Mercedes will have wanted, but in the pit stops, anything can happen. You know, that time could definitely come straight down. We're riding on board with Jarno Opmeer now. 10.2 seconds a gap between himself and Enzo Benito. Will Jarno be diving into the pit lane? Will Enzo be diving into the pit lane? He's a lot further around the racetrack than Jarno right now, but I'm sure that incident will be under investigation. Both of these teams will be probably chatting to the stewards a little bit later, so I definitely say when we get the result from this team, it will be provisional. When we get the result from this race, should I say. And there you go, that's Enzo Benito heading into the pit lane as we predicted. So he will be swapping out, I believe, for which driver, George?
Kevin Siggy, I would imagine.
There you
that
go.
would be the next man. Rietveld tends to bring them home, so we will wait and see. Jarno Opmeer It could either be Cedric Tomé or Bono Huis. They might mix it up.
I believe it's Tomé, yeah.
Yeah, it could well be Tomé. So we'll sit back and see whether that is the change. So brace with us, folks. Obviously, what a firecracker of a start. Obviously, wasn't expecting Jana Watmia to spin heading around turn 1, but nevertheless, that's what we got. But it does mean the Mercedes have got it all to do at this point. Watmia now coming down the pit lane. He will then make the driver change. Benito already in. Of course, he was, remember, 8.9 seconds up. It fell into 9 slowly. Kevin Siggy now in the car as we predicted. Now, he very well could undertake the Joker lap, folks. That has been the form we've seen from Redline in the past, so keep your eyes peeled on Team Redline in this affair. Kevin Siggy lining up the car. You can just see him to the left of picture, where you will see him very shortly, just lining up the car just so he's ready to escape from the pit lane. Now, that's a common trait we've seen from drivers, just so they don't waste any time in terms of the pit stop. There you can see on your picture now, Siggy's leaving, heading out of the pit lane, and Jana Watmia swapping out for Cedric Tomé, the German, taking his place.
Yes, and he's going to have to wait an absolute eternity. We've seen Kevin Siggy leaving the pits around 10 seconds ahead of him. We can't see Tomé yet on track, but there you go, just exiting the pit lane. 11.3 seconds, the gap between the two of them. It's extended a little bit, but Cedric Tomé is a very, very rapid driver as he misses the apex a tiny little bit. Are we watching Hayden here? No, Cedric Tomé is a much, much better driver than our fellow Hayden there, and he's got right back on track, right into the swing of things, gap down to 10.7 seconds.
All I can say is poor Cedric after that comment.
I know.
Poor Mr. Tomé. He's going to be very upset. Heading through this next right-hander now, heading through Woodcote. Cedric Tomé, 10.5 seconds back, so he's reined it in just a tad. He has a lot of work to do, though. Kevin Siggy, we all know his tenacity, his sheer speed and pace, multiple sim racing champion, not to mention going for it in the real life of racing too. He's going to be, trying to get into the DTM trophy of 2023. He certainly has the quality. He was part of the BMW experience back in 2019, so he has driven GT4 cars in the past. But Kevin Siggy here showing what he can do in single-seaters as well as he makes his way through the next chicanes, coming through the next right. Of course, as we predicted, he is going to be taking the Joker lap. So Kevin Siggy now for the second run. He's going to make his way down through towards turn 1, where he'll undertake Abbey Farm Curve into Village, where, of course, on the outset where we saw Jana Watmia spinning with Enzo Benito earlier on. Cedric Tomé into the pits. That means that Bono Huis is going to be taking the seat and also the Joker lap.
Yes, both teams remaining with their original plans that we've seen throughout the season, with Bono Huis taking the Joker lap for Mercedes. He's had a lot of pace, Bono, in this series. He's really pushed that Mercedes team forward, as we are watching Kevin Siggy right now heading around Brooklands and Luffield into Woodcote. Again, he's got in such a rhythm taking this Joker lap. You know, it can be a real advantage once a driver gets into their rhythm. And oh my God, we've got a little bit of an issue there with Kevin Siggy. So back to the pit lane, we'll have a look at Bono Huis. This is going to be him readying to exit the pit lane. 70 seconds you have to change drivers. So it feels like an absolute eternity while the drivers are sitting there, while we're watching them, just waiting for them to get out. But it's all a test of the delta, you know. Bono Huis has no idea how far away Kevin Siggy would be, how far away Team Redline are, so it's all about just going as fast as you possibly can, and there you go, we can see him exiting the pit lane.
Yeah, Bono Huis now making his way out. Obviously, not sure what's going to happen now to Kevin Siggy. Obviously, we're on lap 3 of 4, and he was due to undertake the Joker lap as well, which he did undertake actually on the second run, but Bono Huis obviously will be taking the Joker lap for Mercedes too. So we're getting into the real vibrant point of the race at this stage. Obviously, not a lot of activity happening in the pit lane right now, folks. We will give you an update very, very soon. You can see there Kevin Siggy just going over some issues perhaps with the rig, whether there was a little moment that he had or sustained. They're just going over it now, looking at the technicalities behind it. And this sort of goes to show how the line is so blurred in between that of sim racing and real life racing, because very much like sim rigs that do these types of things, real-life cars also sustain mechanical problems.
Absolutely, and sometimes you just got a little bit of bad luck when things don't go your way. Yesterday we saw that there was an issue for Mercedes with their they had some technical issues in their first relay race as well, which resulted in that one being replayed, restarted. So these technical issues, they do happen. I'm waiting to hear yet whether we'll be getting restarted with this. We are stuck in the pit lane right now, so we'll bring you that information as soon as we have it, folks. But yes, a very challenging, and we were talking about how esports and real life racing is probably the closest it's ever been. You know, with sim racing, you can jump in the car and, you know, be absolutely rapid. As you've mentioned, the drivers have an extensive history of real life racing as well. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, absolutely right. We're going to be certainly watching Kevin Siggy just jumping out of the rig, just getting himself composed. Obviously, we've seen some action in the past where these two teams have certainly met. I mean, Kevin Siggy and Jarno Watmir have gone toe for toe in the past, as well as Bono Huis and many others. Here we have a look at some of the footage that we have already seen. Of course, Jarno Watmir himself coming to blows. Bono Huis, you can see they're tussling with Jeffrey Rietveld. And here we have the start as well from previous. Jarno Watmir getting in the mix of things here at Silverstone as well. Benito coming off on top as well. But it just goes to show top quality talents all up against each other. They went 2-2 in the group stage. They're just so equally matched.
Absolutely, and I think that's why it's going to be such a riveting final. Once we finally get underway, these 6 drivers, there's nothing to separate them. You know, we've talked about how talented they are and how there's no weak link in the team. Yeah, we've talked about how there's a standout. It's Kevin Siggy for Redline. It's Bono Huis for Mercedes. But none of the teams are bad drivers at all by any means. You know, they're still the top ones in the world. That's why they're driving for these teams, and that's why they're here at the final of the V10 R League, one of the fastest sim racing championships in the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. And this is why you need all the top talents here at your disposal, certainly for the Joker lap. There you can see Bono Huis just making sure that he's still in the zone. And they do very much have to be in the zone, that's for sure, folks. And certainly witnessing under the lights as well, the pressure has never been more gargantuan. Of course, such a huge prize on the table, a trophy to offer as well that we've seen, which looks very grandiose.
I think we can see it a little bit behind us,
yeah,
can't
you can
we?
actually, yeah, just behind us. I mean, it looks dazzling out in the lights, that's for sure. Wonderful to see. And naturally, these two great juggernauts, these great teams, of course, Redline themselves, backed by Max Verstappen as well, of course, Formula One world champion. And we are going to be now heading over to the grid very shortly, folks. We will soon have a restart. And there you can see the rigs themselves. And we will be taking also a brief break. So keep it with us, folks. We'll be back very shortly.
Welcome back to the grand final of the V10 R League. As you can see, we are live from the Yas Mall in Abu Dhabi. The race will get underway shortly. I think we're only a few minutes away from getting the action underway, but we can talk about what has happened over those two brief team relay starts. In the first one, it looked like Yana Watmir got the better of Enzo Benito. And in the second one, Enzo Benito had the better start, but there was the contact between Mercedes and Team Redline. I mean, none of us are happy that we're having these delays. We want to get into this action as soon as possible. But I'll tell you some people who are going to be happy, the stewards, because so far they don't have to worry about that decision from the contact, Steph. And as it stands, they've got an earlier night.
Absolutely. I mean, it could all change. I think it's a positive as well for both of the teams. Redline could potentially have been looking at a penalty for that contact with Jarno, and then Mercedes will be able to get back in the game because they won't be 10 seconds off the pace. Hopefully, we don't know what's going to happen in this upcoming race, but yeah, I'd say both teams kind of ended up with a better outcome.
Well, let's take a look at both of those starts and work out why we have the delays, or show why we have the delays. George, let's take us through the first start then.
Yeah, well, Yana Watmir had a great jump indeed. Benito had to play second fiddle pretty much. I mean, the Mercedes team had the perfect start. This is exactly what they would have wanted. Benito, though, right on his rear. There, of course, we've got the alternate. And there you can see Benito far better at the jump. Unfortunately, catching Jarno's rear right tyre, which sent him into a bit of a spin. And I just think it was a case of composure there. Just had trouble just getting the car put back in the correct direction. But here we've got another view on it as well as they move through the first corner at Abbey. And unfortunately, Jarno coming off with a bit of a spin. So a bit of a shame, I think, for him. But he doesn't have to worry now because we're going to go again soon.
Well, whilst we wait for this delay and let the drivers sort out their rigs and get back into it, we've had a great time here in Yas Mall in Abu Dhabi. We got the chance to drive some Caterhams on a real-life F1 circuit at the Yas Marina circuit. And the drivers took part in it as well. We all had such a great evening. So let's see what we got up to.
Really cool to drive on the actual Abu Dhabi track after I was driving it for so many years on the sim. To be actually here driving on it is really, really cool. To go in these Caterhams was an awesome experience, yeah.
They would have loved it.
Yeah, they would have loved everything.
They're proper racers. We just talk about it, so they would have had so much more fun.
Yeah.
The instructors actually trust us. They told us, hey guys, I know you know how to drive. I mean, I think the sim racer can actually drive on a real car without too many problems, actually no problems at all. Overall, the experience is amazing, but we need to focus on why we are here.
Stressed. Very stressed right now.
I had a few trips before COVID broke out, and then after that we've all been racing from home for the last 2 years, so it's really, really cool to be back here and do stuff in person again, and you see the side perks that you get from it as well with these real-life experiences, and they're always the best part of the trip almost.
So much fun! I want to do it again!
It's always competitive. Always. Yeah. As soon as you got past me, I was like, right, I'm not having that. I'm coming back. Yeah.
I thought it was just a bit of fun, but clearly I was on a different page.
Kevin, Siggy, I am now joined with. Tell us a little bit about that Caterham opportunity because it looked like such fun. I know I had a great time. How does it compare to your sim racing?
I mean, it's completely different. It felt almost like a go-kart, but it's a little bit faster, right? So it's pretty similar in that case. So it was quite fun throwing the car around in the corners and getting to know the track. I mean, it was a unique experience because obviously yesterday, the day before, we did karting, and then in this one it felt pretty similar. So I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm very, very glad to hear that all of the drivers enjoyed it, it seems. Just tell us a little bit about how these delays are affecting you. Obviously, you just went underground, I think it seems. So is that going to throw a spanner in the works for you guys?
I mean, I hope it improves things, but as you saw, I mean, we have technical issues literally almost every single day over here, which is unfortunate. But they're trying to fix it, which is obviously a positive thing. But in terms of us, I mean, if we win or lose, now I think the mentality is like, I think it's almost kind of gone. So we're just trying to see if we can go through it, and we're obviously going to try our best. But I mean, we just don't care anymore. We're just going to send it.
Absolutely, just send it. I love that message. So Enzo Benito is taking the start for you guys. You're going to be jumping in second. We don't know whether you're going to be doing the Joker lap or not. We're not going to talk about that. But Cedric Tomei is your opponent. How do you think you can get the better of him?
I mean, I don't know. He's doing one lap. I'm probably doing the Joker. So, I mean, in terms of that, I cannot really compare because I don't think we've been that close on the track before. But I mean, obviously, as I've seen in qualifying, he was pretty good. So, I mean, in that sort of case, I mean, this is hard to compare, but we just have to see what happens after the pits when Bono and Jeffrey go out.
Well, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll get underway very, very shortly. There you go. Hayden, George, Kevin Siggy giving us a little bit of insight into what goes on in his head. Back to you guys.
Yeah, I think he spilt the beans a little bit there. He said probably, maybe taking the Joker lap. Well, I think we figured that one out there. Going back to that Caterham video, we had a lot of fun, didn't we? George, I'm going to give you this moment to shine.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say, Hayden? I mean, there's quality and then there's quality, isn't there? I mean, I just had you every which way but loose, I think, at that point. It was incredible.
Look, all right, I was just having a nice Sunday drive. I was enjoying the experience. I thought we all were. And then all of a sudden, you just come flying up the inside. I was like, okay, it's like that, is it? A bit of racing.
Hey, look, I've heard it all before. You save your excuses for the next time. We'll do it on the kart track.
Yeah, we'll have to do this experience once again. But of course, it's a great reason for these drivers. Of course, they've got reasons to come here anyway. They're fighting for a massive prize pool of £100,000 and also to be crowned the V10 R League 2022 World Champions. But it doesn't hurt to come out here and experience stuff like that and the karting that they did as well. And obviously, that's just going to help them relax into this new environment, Steph.
Oh, it's so much fun for these drivers to, get in the real world life of racing as well. They love it. And there's so many similarities between the sim racing world and the real racing world. We saw in the kart VT that we saw that James Baldwin and Jarno Opmeer were probably going toe-to-toe around the kart track as well. They went out on track in the Caterham together as well. That was a fierce battle between the two of them. I mean, we were told not to overtake unless necessary. Hayden's looking at George now. I'm sensing a little bit of tension between these two. I'm not getting involved. I was just happily driving around the track, enjoying the experience while these two were racing it out. But no, it's great to see the sim racing drivers get real world experience because there's so many similarities between the two of them. You can barely split them apart now.
Hey, I was enjoying it as well, right? And then George barreled through and just barged me out the way.
I had a great time.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah, of course you did. But going back to the karting, and it's great to see, and that's why I think we love sim racing so much, because in other esports, the skills aren't necessarily transferable. Whereas in sim racing, you can jump into a car, you've got experience, yeah, you might take a few laps to get up to speed, but you know what you're doing, don't you, George?
Yeah, you do. And I said this to Steph earlier on, in terms of the line is now so blurred these days. Even going back to looking at the mechanical factor, making repairs, adjusting the rigs, it is very much part of the fabric now of sim racing that, real drivers can step into the car. We've seen Max Verstappen do it as well. The F1 drivers did it during COVID. We saw all that happen as well. It just goes to show how important sim racing really is, and it's become part of our culture, I suppose.
It really has, and there's drivers as well. Not only you're mentioning drivers coming from real-life racing to sim racing being competitive, but there's also drivers going from sim racing to real-life racing. James Baldwin is a great example, racing in GT this year at the Spa 24 Hours, and that just goes to show that this could become a new grassroots for motorsport, couldn't it?
Yes, and that's exactly what we've seen. We've got F2 drivers now coming in from esports, and that's how they get their drive. It's a brilliant opportunity as well. The path to motorsport is so expensive. It's really difficult to really get on the ladder and get into it. So esports is a very, very viable route, and there's definitely opportunities to grow into the real world of motorsport.
And doing more more LAN events like this where they come out of their comfort zone, because a lot of the time, in recent years anyway, due to COVID, they've been stuck at home just racing from either their bedrooms or an office room that they've got. Now they come to these events, they are speaking to us as the media, so they have to get used to all of that, and that makes it even closer, doesn't it, George?
It does. It sort of really hammers it home, and if you're not prepared for the LAN event, it could add a little bit of extra pressure. I mean, we've seen what the lights can do to a lot of the guys around here. You know, it could be a real distraction, but at the same time, you've got to learn to live with it. You know, at the end of the day, these are what these competitions are all about. We want to push your limit and see who comes out on top. But yeah, it's a pleasure to watch.
I'm sure there is nothing more distracting than being ready on the grid and then just hear you bellowing out, go, 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 isn't there, George? We'll be getting into this relay race very soon. Both teams behind us getting a little bit of practice in before we get into that race. Silverstone, we've seen a little tease of it. Of course, we haven't been able to see these two teams go head-to-head around the circuit yet. Now, third time lucky. Steph, are we going to see a really fierce battle between these two teams every single lap?
Look, third time's a charm, so it's going to be fantastic, hopefully. You know, we talked about how Jarno and Mercedes had the upper hand during the first race, then Enzo Benito and Team Redline had the upper hand in the second race, so let's just mesh the two together, get a brilliant wheel-to-wheel battle between the two of them in the opening laps, and have, hopefully, the gap stay quite similar. As we said, Kevin Siggy alluded to the fact that he'll probably be doing the Joker. Mercedes have a plan in place. They've always stuck to that plan with Bono Hughes taking the Joker. He'll be going in the car last as well. So it's likely that we won't see these drivers all on track at the same time. We'll see them on the first lap and the last lap. And, you know, that's all we need. We need good racing on the first lap, good racing on the last lap. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, we saw Enzo Benito there. First start, not so good. Second one, he allowed himself to be wheel-to-wheel with Jarno Opmeer. Now, does he go one better and jump Opmeer at the start?
Who knows? He seems to get better and better with every restart. So let's wait and see if restart number 3 is going to be any better for him. Obviously, Redline will be hoping for that. You know, it seems to be the common sight, you know, to see, you know, if you can get ahead out of turn 3 and you have the run down through the Wellington Straight leading into the next left-hander at Luffield. It really is going to be the moniker, I think. You know, if you're in front at that point, then you are in prime position to certainly have a great chance of winning the relay.
Now, these drivers just sitting here waiting. How do you get yourselves ready whilst having this delay and still be in that zone to go racing, George?
Well, I suppose it's just get in the rig and just get going, really. I suppose that's the only thing you can do. Maybe some sit-ups, push-ups. What do you recommend?
Now, it's been a while since, of course, we had that first race. We're going to get the lineup on screen for you now. Benito is going up against Opmeer. Then we've got Kevin Siggy versus Cedric Tomei. And we haven't even seen Bono Hughes or Rightfield, so we're very excited to see those lineups, aren't we?
Oh yeah, Bono has been getting his elbows out on these laps. Jeffrey Rotvelt as well. We know he's a great driver, usually the defender of Team Redline, so maybe he'll be out in front and have to defend from the attacking waves that Bono Hughes is going to send out. But no, it's going to be a brilliant battle between the two of those drivers. And I hear we're really close to getting the race started, and we've got the lights coming on. George, over to you.
Thank you, Steph. Yes, all lights are now lit. 6 lights here at Silverstone. And it is pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Jarno Opmeer and Enzo Benito. He did get a better start, Benito. He now has his nose in front around Abbey. Side by side, Opmeer retakes the lead as they now make their way in towards turn 3 now. Still it's Opmeer. Benito right on his rear right now. Will he chuck it up the inside heading round the loop? He certainly will, but Opmeer with still a nose in front keeps his car in front as now they enter the Wellington Straight. It is still Benito. Opmeer leads. He breaks to the inside to defend against Benito's run. They head into Brooklands now side by side again. Opmeer, brilliant defensive. He's in first place.
Into Luffield, Benito just slots in behind Opmeer. Didn't want to make any contact, didn't want to get two elbows out there, but as they head down the Old International Pit Straight, he's right on the back of him, getting ever so close. Is he going to throw it around the outside into Cobbs? He is! And do they make contact? No, but Enzo Benito goes slightly wide, but manages to maintain that lead so far going into Maggots and Beckett's. Opmeer just slipping in behind him, and going down the Wellington Straight is going to be the Hangar Straight, should I say, is going to be a fantastic opportunity for Jarno Opmeer to come back at Enzo Benito. He's already diving to the right to be able to see if he can make a move going into Stowe, but he's just too far back right now.
What a move from Enzo Benito around Cobb's corner. That was spectacular, just hanging it around the outside, because we love to see moves in that part of the circuit. Very dramatic indeed. very high speed as well. Both cars in the pit lane. Now, this is the start we wanted. A little bit of battling, a little bit of scrapping, but all's fair in love and war, certainly even on the racetrack. We're now seeing the cars make their way into the pit lane now. You can see there, Otmir still in the car. He will then well, certainly jet out. In comes Cedric Tomei, and then of course Benito will be swapping with Kevin Siggy. Now, very likely, folks, we will see Siggy. We saw his interview with you, Steph. He certainly seems to think that the Joker lap is on the cards for him again this time.
Yeah, well, these teams get a plan and they stick to it. They love knowing what's going to happen. So Kevin Siggy potentially taking these 2 laps. That could have given Mercedes a little bit of an insight. Will they have changed their strategy as a result of hearing that? Who knows? It's yet to be determined. But there you go. You've got Cedric Tomei jumping in the car. Kevin Siggy in for Team Redline. Who's going to come out first? It was very close between the 2 of them. We don't want any mistakes in the pit lane. There you go. You've got the Team Redline driver of Kevin Siggy just getting ready, reversing out and coming up so you can just put the pedal to the metal, as you say, and go straight out of the pit lane. It'll be a battle between these 2 fantastic drivers on this second lap.
Yeah, absolutely right. Kevin Siggy already getting out. Tomei didn't even move into the pit lane, so very happy, but he got a nice exit. All that being said, though, you've got to say 5 for 10. Well, no seeing that. No, they've brought it right back in. 0.3 of a second now between the pair. Siggy leads, though. Tomei will have a huge chance, though, heading down the Wellington Straight. Great to see the 2 drivers both together. Now, don't forget, Siggy's the one who we think will take the Joker lap. He certainly seemed to suggest that in his interview with Steph. Now, as they make their way in towards Brooklands, Siggy in the car, Team Redline as well, representing here in the V10 R League, a wonderful championship charge they have had, very much like Mercedes as well. Remember, these 2 came together previously earlier on in the group stage. 2-2 was the final score. You just could not separate them. Siggy now making his way up through towards Copse Corner, and he does indeed just send it around this right-hander. You can pretty much leave your foot down. The grip in these V10 cars is absolutely phenomenal. Tomei right in behind him too, within half a second, and starting to really push now, heading through Maggots and Beckett's. Chapel Curve will come up next. He might choose to use the push to pass as well, leading down, and oh, he might have a chance here. Kevin Siggy has now got Tomei. Oh, he's in front. Tomei now leads. Siggy around the outside. He comes through Stowe. Oh, a little bit of contact as they make their way through. Tomei still on top as they make their way into the pit lane. The Mercedes bails. But keenly enough, he was in front, Steph.
Absolutely, and what a move it was from Cedric Tomei to retake the lead from Kevin Siggy, who is now heading out on the Joker lap. Cedric Tomei heading into the pits, but he did everything he needed to do, put Mercedes ahead at that point, and now Kevin Siggy has to mitigate any potential advantage that the Mercedes may have gained on this lap while he's alone out on the track. Push hard and hard.
Yeah, you've got to push hard and hard, certainly here in the V10 R League. If you want to come out on top, Kevin Siggy knows what he needs to do. Needs to try and put a little bit of delta between him and the Mercedes team. But who's coming up next? No doubt, it's Bono Huis. He will be the man to nestle in a Joker lap. So he's going to be doing 2 laps for Mercedes for the next run. He's going to be taking them through the next lap and the lap after. Kevin Siggy, he is now coming to the end of his Joker run, so he's going to be handing it over to Jeffrey Rietveld on this very lap. So this is so key for Kevin Siggy now as he now ventures around Copse Corner. High speed, certainly at this point of the circuit, now weaving through Maggots and Beckett's as well. A very attractive set of curves, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then venturing through Chapel Curve, as you can see, as you can now see him put the hammer down and send it down the long hanger straight. The speed trap exists right at the end of this straight before Stowe heading through that next right. There's Bono Huis. He ventures out of the pit lane, and he has now got 2 laps to defend a potential win for Mercedes.
There you go, Kevin Siggy darting into the pit lane. He has completed the 2 laps for Team Redline. It will just be Jeffrey Rietveld jumping into the car to take the final lap. Whereabouts on track will he come out in comparison to Bono Huis? And that is the man at the minute who is taking Mercedes even further. We'll be taking both of the Joker laps around Brooklands and Luffield, and he's on the charge at the minute. He'll be heading straight down the international pit straight, where we saw some moves being made in previous races, previous relays here, as he throws it into Copse, where we just saw some fantastic moves being made. Bono Huis doing a fantastic job, a really rapid driver for the Mercedes team, and he will be taking the Joker as he heads through Maggots and Beckett. An iconic set of corners. Foot to the floor, is there? No mistakes from Bono.
No, not at all, and that's exactly what he needs to do. Jeffrey Rietveld now in the car, so he's going to be venturing out on the final lap for Team Redline. Bono Huis has got one last lap to take. Now, what will happen when that Redline car makes its way out to the pit lane? Will it be side by side with Bono Huis, or has Bono Huis done enough to marshal the deficit between him and Team Redline and hold on to this advantage as he now makes his way across the start-finish line to commence the final lap here at Silverstone? And there is Jeffrey Rietveld. How close are they going to be side by side? Bono Huis manages to hold on to the lead advantage, now heading through turn 3, turn 4 next at the loop. But watch out for Rietveld, he will have the push to pass leading down the Wellington Straight. We know how much they like to overtake at this point in the track as they make their way down through towards Brooklands. It is still Huis on top. He has done the Joker lap, he is on the Joker lap, and he's in front on the final lap. Mercedes really going for it here.
Oh, but it's not done yet. It's not a done deal. Jeffrey Rietveld is attacking Bono Huis in his mirrors. There you go. You can see from the camera on the rear wing of that Mercedes. You can see just how close Jeffrey Rietveld is getting, and Bono Huis defending for his life, throwing it into Cops. Oh, and there was a little squirrely moment there from Jeffrey Rietveld, who's just dropped back a little bit, 0.4 of a second the gap, but there you go. As you can see, so close between them. Maggots and Beckett's heading down the Hangar Straight. Is there going to be a move being made? 0.5 of a second the gap, and Jeffrey Rietveld closing in there, you can see, on Bono Huis, but just too far away to make a move into Stowe.
Yeah, great things come to those who wait. We have witnessed a classic here for our first race, the first relay race here at Silverstone. Bono Huis, remember, in the group stage, 3 pole positions, 3 team race wins. He is going to add another one to his locker. Mercedes take the first win here in the relay race. Incredible here in Silverstone. What a performance. Hayden, incredible.
Wow, what a race. We had to wait for it, but we were thoroughly entertained. It was worth the wait, wasn't it? Mercedes getting the first point on the board over Team Redline in that scorcher of a matchup. Both teams were very close right up until the last lap. As you can see, Bono very calm, very calculated, getting themselves ready for the team race, which will be coming up shortly. This is how it all went down then. Enzo Benito had a much better start than he had done so far. They were wheel to wheel with Jarno Otmir, but Otmir just got the better of him as they ran down into the third corner. Enzo Benito, though, he didn't give up. He fought back. He had a tight line through the loop and then just stuck with Jarno Otmir all the way into through Cop's corner, went right round the outside, pulled off a cracking move on Jarno Otmir, then took the lead for the Redline team. Then it was time for Kevin Siggy and Cedric Tomei to jump in the car. Tomei got the better of Siggy. Siggy tried it around the outside. There was contact between the two of them. Siggy ran wide and darted into the Joker lap. Then it switched over to their teammates, Bono Huis and Jeffrey Rietveld. Huis came just out ahead of Rietveld at the end there. And unfortunately for Jeffrey, he just didn't have the pace to attack Bono. And he came around the final corner and took the race win, which puts us 1-0 to Mercedes-AMG Petronas Esports up against Team Redline. We still got 3 races left to go. Anything can happen. We're shortly going to be getting into the team race at Silverstone, but George, that's going to be so important for Mercedes to get that point.
That was a key result. You have to say credit to everyone involved. That was a barnstormer. We had to wait for it, but it was a good one. Mercedes, though, will take the confidence from facing Redline and literally going toe-to-toe and coming out on top. Bono Huis pulling off an excellent run to finalize it as well. Got to give a little credit, though, to Enzo Benito. That was a sensational move around Cops.
Now, before we get into the team race, as we know, qualifying is very important, but I think it's more important maybe in this one because these two teams, we've already seen a 2-all draw. If it ends up as a 2-all draw, it then comes down to the team points. But if the team points are the same, it comes down to whoever has that pole position. And it has gone to Bono, who's ahead of Kevin Siggy. Look at how close that is, Steph.
0.04 of a second between P1 and P2 there. Bono and Siggy, nothing to separate them. Well, I guess it's 0.04 of a second, I suppose. But yeah, it's going to be so exciting. Look, you don't really have any team members that are, shoved together. We've got Rietveld and Bonito who are together and will be able to potentially defend from Tomei there. But you know, it's quite uneven. Nobody's going to have that advantage of being at the front with their teammates to back them up.
Yeah, you're certainly correct there. It's everyone's game. Siggy could easily jump. Who's could easily defend from Siggy on the opening lap, but it's Team Redline who need to come back in this race to make it 1-1, don't they, George?
Very key that they can bounce back from that one. They won't want to go 2-0 down heading into the next track that we go to later on, but incredible. Yeah, I mean, credit to Bono Huis as well, pole position, and you can add that to his long list that he's obtained this season.
Well, we're going to get into this race now. These guys, they're so quick. Bono Huis's lap time beating Siggy by such a small margin. I think it was a 27.0, which is an absolute scorcher. Max Verstappen in 2020 set the lap record there, which was a 1:27.09. So Bono Huis going just that a little bit quicker, just showing you how fast not only these guys are, but of course this V10 R League car. We're going to be getting into the racing very shortly. We just saw there Bono Huis calm and collected. He's going to be the man of the moment at the moment, isn't he, Steph?
100%. Brilliant job from him. I'd have to hand it to Cedric Tomei, though. I think that fantastic move on Kevin Siggy, completely unexpected, but down the hanger straight, it was absolutely brilliant. We blinked and we almost missed it. He was in front of Kevin Siggy, and that definitely helped secure Mercedes the win, because we saw how close Bono and Jeffrey were when Jeffrey exited the pits. But Bono, fantastic doing the Joker lap, not letting the team down at all. You know, there's, like we've said, there's no weak links at all.
We're about to get into the team race at Silverstone. Kevin Siggy, such an important driver for Team Redline, a previous champion last series with BMW. What does he need to do to topple Mercedes here?
Get ahead in turn one, I think, is obviously the start. I mean, that surely has to be the answer. But no, we've seen how important sector one is. So get that right, see how the rest of the race goes.
Well, we will see how the rest of the race goes. Mercedes versus Team Redline. This battle is the closest we have seen all season, and it's going to get close as we get into the race. Over to you, George.
Thank you, Hayden. First light, second light. I tell you what, all 6 lights lighting up here at Silverstone for the first team race. And it is pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. And once again, oh, Kevin Siggy got the launch that he needed in towards turn one. Team Redline have got the lead. That is so key. Bono Huis now in second place. Benito in third as well. Otmir there as well with Jeffrey Rietveld switching places with Cedric Tomei at the rear. In comes as well Jarno Otmir battling now with Enzo Benito as they head around the loop down the Wellington straight. Kevin Siggy on top. Bono Huis in second. Jarno Otmir in third, Steph.
What a scintillating start that was, George. Battles up and down the field, and I think that's Jarno Otmir again going for a move with Enzo Benito. Both of them battling, and you can see Jarno Otmir moves up to P3 again, Enzo down into P4. What a brilliant battle between the two of them. And as you can see further back, we've got battles between Jeffrey Rietveld, as there goes Enzo Benito down the old international pit straight with Jarno Otmir, and he goes a little bit wide as he runs into Kops, but he takes the move again. Enzo Benito round the outside of Kops. What a move, George.
Oh, sensational. Carbon Copy did exactly the same in the relay race. He's done it again, this time to the Flying Dutchman, as we now watch Jeffrey Rietveld now make his way down the hanger straight. He's going now for Jarno Otmir, gunning for it in towards Stowe. It is Rietveld. What a sensation here at Silverstone. The Team Redline boys moving up 1 place apiece. Benito in third, Rietveld in fourth. Here comes Otmir down the outside now in towards Valen Club. He's got it back. He's stolen fourth. He is back there again. Kevin Siggy still leads though. Huis in second. Benito in third place.
Astounding move there from Jarno Otmir, but there you go. Jeffrey Rietveld trying to go around the outside, not quite making it work though, but all over the back of Jarno Otmir. He's going to go round, he's going to go up the inside, but Jarno's going to switch it back on him and maintains that 4th position right now. But there you go. Jeffrey Rietveld up in the inside. The two of them go side by side as they head onto the Wellington straight. It's going to be Jeffrey Rietveld that has the inside line going into Brooklands, but will Jarno Otmir switch it around? He goes around the outside. Is he going to be able to hang on through Luffield? No, he just slots in behind Jeffrey Rietveld there, but these two two are so close. And there you go, Cedric Tomei getting in on the battle as well.
Yeah, this opens the door potentially for Cedric Tomei, who has been at the back just watching all this unfold. Rietveld now back up into fourth after his incredible scrap with Jarno Opmeer. We love to see it, and this is why Silverstone is just simply oh so brilliant. This Arena Grand Prix circuit, 5.891 kilometers, should I say, 3.661 miles, 18 corners. That's what the drivers have to undertake as they now venture down the hangar straight. Kevin Siggy still leads. Huis now, could he challenge for the lead? He had a little note to the inside, leading around Stowe, but not quite enough in order to get his nose in front, but he might choose to go on a late break in towards Valen Club. No, not this time. He's going to sit behind, stay sensible. He'll live to fight another day.
Well, Kevin Siggy is under a lot of pressure there from Bono Huis. He's absolutely storming up towards him. There's such a small gap between the both of them. You know, here we've got Bono Huis setting the fastest lap, a 1:28. He's all over the back of Kevin Siggy. 3/10, 2/10 is the gap. Is he going to be able to go up the inside? Not quite, but he's having a little look, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more moves from him down the Wellington Straight. Again, a really great opportunity to get in the slipstream as we're about to see these drivers go. Will he be able to dive to the inside going into Brooklands? I don't think he's going to quite make that one stick, but he's ever so close to Kevin Siggy, and oh my gosh, in the rear mirrors of Kevin Siggy, he will have the silver arrows right there.
He certainly will. Bono Huis is yet to leave the line. He is currently sat well within 0.4 of a second, near enough 3.5 now, as he works his way leading down towards Copse. Has got a lovely bit of speed as he ventures through this high-speed corner. He's got Maggots and Beckett's to take next. Kevin Siggy still holding on to the advantage. Enzo Benito has dropped back. He's now 1.5 seconds in third place away from Bono Huis, as now we see them make their way weaving through Maggots and Beckett's, through Chapel, and then down the long hangar straight where Bono Huis might be able to unleash the beast in that Mercedes car. Side-by-side action between Jarno Opmeer and Jeffrey Rietveld, and he's taking it as well. Opmeer now back into fourth. Here comes Rietveld round Stowe. Will he look to take it back? Not just yet though, but give him a chance, because he might get Valen Club as well. But no, Opmeer doing enough to marshal off the attack from Jeffrey Rietveld. He holds on to fourth place now, Steph.
Yeah, Jeffrey there just having a little squirrely moment actually coming out of Stowe. That's lost him a little bit of time in the battle with Jarno Opmeer and pushed him a little bit into the path of Cedric Tomei, who again was getting all involved in that battle with the three of them. There you've got Bono Huis again chasing down Kevin Siggy, not quite close enough to be able to make a move, but it's so close between the two of them, putting pressure on Kevin Siggy. He's doing well to cope so far. His mirrors are filled with that silver arrows as we head down the Wellington Straight. Again, Bono not close enough to make a move. Is it possible, George? He's saving some of that push to pass for the last couple of laps. We're on lap 4. Currently, we will have lap 5 and lap 6 of this race. It's still all to play for, only just halfway through, and we've seen so much action so far.
I'm sure that Kevin Siggy would rather something else in his mirrors right now. Of course, the last thing you want is Bono Huis breathing down your neck. He, of course, did partner Jarno Opmeer in the F1 Esports Pro Championship last season. He was a reserve driver for him and Danny Moreno as they now make their way through Maggots and Beckett's corners. Huis now still locked in behind the rear wing of Kevin Siggy in the Team Redline car as he now power out towards the long hangar straight. Yet again, will he utilise the push to pass in order to get the upper hand leading in towards Stowe? We still have a couple of laps remaining at this point. Well, a couple of laps and a bit, if you count the rest of this particular lap. Kevin Siggy now down through towards Vale and Club Corner. They've gone past the pit entry line. They don't have to use that in the team race, of course. Only 6 laps at their disposal as they venture around that final bend, now onto the Lewis Hamilton Straight. They've got the turn 1 now at Abbey Corner. This one also very high speed before then venturing into Farm Curve as we ride on board. Jarno Opmeer securing the fastest lap of the race with a 28.179 as we're now watching Huis now once again get so close to the tail of Kevin Siggy. They venture through the loop now. Wellington Straight up next before Brooklands Corner as well. Jarno Opmeer has actually managed to gain on Enzo Benito. He is within a second now, Steph.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. Setting fastest laps all over the place, really closing in. That gap is now less than 1 second. But there you go. This is the gap that we're watching right now. 0.3 of a second between Bono Huis and Kevin Siggy just ahead of him. It keeps getting closer. It's maintaining where it is right now. Bonohu's not able to get close enough to make a move stick. It could be that Kevin Siggy is using his push to pass very, very smartly, very cleverly, just to keep that distance between himself and Bonohu's. But the man is not without pressure right now, obviously. He's up at the front, but he's not completely dominating the field. As you can see, Enzo, is he going to be able to make a move going down the hanger straight? He's getting ever so closer to Kevin Siggy, but he's not going to be close enough, and Kevin Siggy stays ahead going into Stowe, but Bonohu's on the tail of him. 0.2 of a second there, not going to be able to make a move into Vale or Club. He'll have to wait for the last lap. These are the last couple of corners of the penultimate lap, and now they head onto the Hamilton straight, and Kevin Siggy starts the final lap of this team race. Jarno Opmeer again sending the fastest lap, 1:28, and it's just a fantastic race between all of these drivers. Bono putting the pressure on Kevin Siggy, but Jarno Opmeer also putting the pressure on Enzo Benito just there, and as you can see, that is as it stands. Team Redline will be taking the match point. If all stays as is, 16 points. Mercedes will be taking home 10 points. Bonohu's, there you go, going down the Wellington straight into Brooklands Luffield, but again, not close enough to make a move. Could this be it for Mercedes, George?
Well, we're on the final lap of magic. Let's find out, Steph, as we're now watching Kevin Siggy send it down through the old paddock straight. Bonohu's now locked in behind him, still within that 4.5 of a second, as they now work their way through Copse, the high-speed corner, now in towards Maggots and Beckett's again, through 11, 12, 13, very soon 14 at Chapel. Bonohu's now getting closer and closer. He's got a huge chance now. Get ready, folks. This could be sensational. He could open up the push to pass as they now make their way leading up towards Stowe. You can see Siggy getting closer, but he goes defensive. Bono around the outside now, through towards the next right. They bang wheels, they touch, a side pod, a rear. Oh, he slips. He very nearly loses it. Kevin Siggy, though, manages to hold on to the car, as did Bonohu's. What a cracker. What a barnstormer. It's been sensational. Redline get their first win. They secure it. Kevin Siggy scores the W here in the team race 1 at Silverstone. Over to you, Hayden.
Wow, what a race. Team Redline versus Mercedes. It looks like Redline just about got that there. Bonohu's had a good go of it, but couldn't quite put it off at the end. We're going to go for a quick break. When we return, we're going to head over to Yas Marina for the team relay. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the grand final of the V10 R League. We have just witnessed a great battle between Mercedes and Team Redline that went all the way to the last lap. Kevin Siggy just about holding on to victory up against Bono Hoos. It really came down to it at the end, although there was a little bit of contact and there is going to be a bit of adjudication. And I think there, Kevin Siggy, I think he knows it. But as it stands at the moment, Mercedes versus Team Redline, it's 1-1. 1-1, and it was a scorcher of a battle as well. Steph, that race had everything, didn't it?
Absolutely, and I just want to point out the incredible car control from both Bono Hoos and Kevin Siggy at the end. Once they made contact, they both kept it on the road, didn't get overtaken by anyone behind him, and it's not like those guys were, you know, worlds away. So it's fantastic. We saw some brilliant moves from Jarno Opmeer, Jeffrey Rietveld. It was just that fantastic race, you know, through and through from lap 1 to lap 6. All of them were brilliant, and we're heading into the next race, the relay race around Yas Marina. George?
Here we go, folks. Pedal to the metal here for the first time tonight in Yas Marina. And it is side-by-side action. Benito already with the lead here as they head around turn 1. They've got turn 2 and 3 to take. The weaving section here in the high elevation point as well as they make the climb. Jarno Opmeer now in second place. Benito in front. He can get composed. The Flying Dutchman in behind as well as they now round the next left-hander tandem. They are nose to tail, but still Benito on top as now they venture out of turn 5. Turn 6 and 7 is indeed next. Opmeer now trying to follow that of the Italian mastermind Enzo Benito in towards turn 6. They are. Benito holding on to a decent 3.5-tenth gap.
Yes, very, very close though. These two drivers are getting Jarno Opmeer. They're going through turn 6 and turn 7, really close to the back of him and going down this straight. Is he going to be able to make a move? Enzo Benito darting out to try and defend, break that slipstream so Jarno can't get the benefit, but he's so close. And there's contact between the two of them. Both of them are off into the runoff area. Who can get back on track first? Both of them have got going again and they're wheel to wheel going around the corner, but it's Jarno Opmeer that manages to get straight back on the track ahead of Enzo Benito. No doubt that incident will be under investigation, so we will wait to see what's going on with that as they head into sector 3. We're going to see a little replay of what went down exactly there between Jarno Opmeer and Enzo Benito. Here we go. It's just Jarno runs a little bit into Enzo Benito, spins them both round, just got too much slipstream, just got too close to the driver ahead of him, and both of them, as you can see, darted into the pits. They're neither taking the Joker lap, and they'll hand over to their teams.
Yeah, what a moment indeed, Steph. Incredible moments. Obviously, the little tussle heading into sector 2, into sector 3 as well. Opmeer getting very close, looking to make the move. Unfortunately, Benito shut the door. It literally came together. I'm sure the stewards will be having a look at that, as Steph alluded to, but we have now got the pit stop phase. This is where the driver changes will be happening. Benito and Opmeer, of course, exchanging for their counterparts. Tomei in for Mercedes. Not forgetting as well, Benito will be swapping out as well with Kevin Siggy, the man who has taken certainly the Joker lap in previous occasions, in many previous occasions, and you'd factor on him doing the same again, Steph.
Exactly. I mean, if I were Mercedes, I'd be betting on Kevin Siggy doing the Joker lap, and I'd also be betting on Bono Hoos taking it for Mercedes again, the last driver to come through. So we might see these drivers, you know, heading out together on the final lap again, as we can see Cedric Tomei reversing, just trying to get a straight line. Kevin Siggy has done the same thing, I believe. Very, very difficult pit exit. We saw earlier on in the game a couple of incidents with the pit lane, you know, losing the back end, a little crash into the tunnel, and there you go, both drivers foot to the floor, and they're through into the tunnel. They're going to come out on track so close together. Cedric Tomei chasing the Team Redline driver of Kevin Siggy. Will he be able to close up and make a move? George, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, remember, it was Tomei at Silverstone who managed to get Kevin Siggy very late in the day. Of course, Siggy was then going to take his Joker lap. Tomei came in and swapped out for Bono Hoos at Silverstone. Kevin Siggy has now got to defend once again from Cedric Tomei, and this time Tomei will have the tow heading down through towards turn 6, and he can utilize the push to pass again if he needs to. But look how close he is now, just over 0.3 of a second. So give him an opportunity now heading out of this chicane, and he can use it heading around turn 8 in towards turn 9. They've got another straight to take. You can call it a straight. There is a little bit of a kink there, but that doesn't matter. In comes Tomei. He has got Kevin Siggy right right ahead of him. Now, a good advantage for Mercedes is required. They like the relay race. Tomei with a send. Oh, so close. He left it to the last minute, and Tomei has spun, but crucially, has he then cost the relay race for his team?
Absolutely. Oh, it's so tight, and it's difficult to tell. Again, I'm sure the stewards will be looking at all of these incidents that are going on. 3.7 seconds the gap now as they head into the tight, twisty and technical section of the track, sector 3. Kevin Siggy now in clear air, will not be able to see the Mercedes in his back, and he goes past the pit exit onto his second lap. He will be taking the Joker, as we predicted, as we've seen countless times over the season, and Cedric Tomei there jumping into the pit lane, but you've got to give it to him. He tried to make the move. It didn't quite pay off for him. 3 seconds adrift now from Kevin Siggy.
He gave himself a shot. He had to have a go. That's exactly what he did at Silverstone, and it worked. Didn't quite pay off this time, but nevertheless, they're sim racers. This is what they need to do, make the crucial overtakes. Kevin Siggy, he himself now will be looking to try and build a decent gap so that when he comes to pits and swaps out for Jeffrey Rietveld, he'll have a decent enough opportunity in order to obtain the best possible result for his team, and the best possible result is a victory, certainly in this relay race. Kevin Siggy now working his way out of the chicane. He's then got turn 8 to take. This curvature bend leading down through towards turn 9, will they then sweep around this next left leading into sector 3 proper. They'll just venture into sector 3 right now, and Siggy will be looking to put in a burst of pace, try and worm his way through sector 3. Very tight and congested, very technical. Let's see what he can do.
Yes, and Bono, who's jumping into that Mercedes car, swapping around with Cedric Tomei there. We know that when Tomei came into the pits, he had the advantage. Oh, he was at the disadvantage, should I say. Kevin Siggy had the advantage of around about 3.5 seconds. Bono Hoos is going to be trying to close in that gap and to close in that. And there you go. He's leaving the pit lane. No issues there. No crashes. No squiggly moments. And he's heading out on the first of his 2 laps. Now, Bono Hoos is very good at managing the gap, at bringing it down, and obviously that delta, we're not sure exactly what it is right now. We will see once the drivers join on the final lap. It's going to be Jeffrey Rietveld that jumps into the Team Redline car and will be going head to head with Bono Hoos. How much time can he really make up on this lap? Is it 3.5 seconds worth of time?
Well, you can certainly do that. He's got the capability. I mean, we haven't factored in the fact it could be a slow pit stop for Redline. You never know. Anything can happen in the relay race. I mean, at the end of the day, Tomei had to make the move. He had to have a go, obviously give himself an opportunity and certainly give themselves an advantage heading into that pit stop phase. It's now all on Bono Hoos now to make it happen as he smashes the barge boards on the right-hand side. He's literally throwing everything into this Joker lap. They know that they need to. There is a big trophy on the line here, a grand prize, and certainly this grand final for the first time in person in a long time. These esports drivers have raced together. They want to try and put the feather in their cap. That is the V10 R League. Bono Hoos now working his way through the next stride. They got one more corner to take before they then take the final lap. Rietveld in the pits. He's leaving. Where's Bono going to come out? This could be close. Rietveld is slowly working the car out. But where's Huis? Can we see him? As now we see Jeffrey Rietveld venture out into the circuit. Where is the Mercedes? He's got a little bit of work to do. 3.3 seconds. A great stop by Team Redline.
Absolutely, exactly what they needed to do, you know, right on the mark. 3.3 seconds. It's right in the same ballpark that it was when the drivers came into pit. There you go. Bono just in the distance there from Jeffrey Rietveld. He's got it all to do, but Jeffrey has the pressure on him right now. No mistakes, and it's very easy to make mistakes on this circuit. It's very difficult, especially the final sector. Lots of off-camber corners can unsettle the car very easily, but these esports drivers have fantastic control, and there you go. That's the example of the control right now. Jeffrey Rietveld and Bono Hoos, neither of them making any mistakes, pushing the car to its absolute limit. Jeffrey Rietveld, he does have a 3.5 second lead, but he's not letting up right now, is he, George?
No, not at all. He needs to bring it home, and he knows how much this win would mean to Team Redline, of course. We'll then have one final race after this one to certainly decide the championship, but they'll be celebrating, certainly at this point, with this victory in the second relay race here at Yas Marina. They scream Yas, Jeffrey Rietveld, as he crosses the line. Team Redline take victory here at Abu Dhabi. Sensational, Hayden Gullis. It is Rietveld. He's on top.
Redline are bringing it back as it stands 2-1. Team Redline beating Mercedes in the second team relay race. When we come back from this short break. All 6 cars will be on track for the team race. Welcome back to the V10 R League Grand Final. It's Mercedes versus Team Redline. We've just witnessed the second of the team relay races in which Redline took victory. It was very close. There was a few incidents between the two teams there up and down the field. But it was, in the end, Team Redline taking victory and getting a point to their name. And as we have a look at the match score now, it's actually 2-1 to Mercedes, because I have a little bit of information for you both. Kevin Siggy has been given a 3-second time penalty for the incident he had with Bono, who's on the last lap in Silverstone, which allowed Mercedes to have a 1-2 and also now lead 2-1 as we go into this next race. It's going to be coming up in Yas Marina. Here we go. Let's have a little look at the replay. So Bono around the outside, forced off the circuit by Kevin Siggy. They both kind of lose the car. Great car control, George, from both of them, but that is the penalty they're given to Kevin Siggy.
Yeah, we were stunned, actually, obviously with the fact that they were able to retain the car and the control of it. These V10 cars have the ability to stick out from time to time, and obviously, certainly when you're coming into Vale and Club, that's the last thing you want, to certainly have the rear get away from you. Bono, very, very well done. Getting back onto the circuit, you know what it's like at that part of the track. You could very easily lose it.
Yeah, looking at Kevin Siggy's reaction after that as well, I think he unfortunately knew that something may have been coming his way, Steph.
Oh yeah, but it's hard racing, isn't it? I think he could have left him a little bit more room and maybe avoided the contact altogether, but you know, he's in P1, he's fighting hard to maintain that position. Only a couple more corners left at Silverstone as well, so he didn't have many opportunities to defend and keep Bono behind him. Unfortunately, they've ended up with a penalty, but fantastic driving ability, and if they can bring that to the next team race, then look, we're going to be in for a right corker.
It's the grand finals after all, you can't leave anything on the line, but Kevin Siggy, how does he prepare now for this race? It's not going to be good news, it's going to unsettle you a little bit, but how does he put that to the back of his mind?
He's got to refocus at this point. You've got to leave the past behind you. You've got to look ahead now. We've got one final battle, one final scrap. This is going to be a corker. You know, you have to say you're going to leave everything on the line at Abu Dhabi, and that's what it means, and that's exactly what they're fighting for. It's that V10 R Championship Trophy 2022, obviously, and you know, all of them have the ability, the raw talent to be successful, but it's all about being controlled, also at the same time, go for the W.
So we're going to be heading into the next team race, all 6 cars out on track. In the first one, Mercedes were leading the way, but Redline really went for it and sort of dominated the opening part of the race, didn't they, Steph?
Yeah, as you can see here, we've got the team race grid, Hayden. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. They were dominating at the beginning. There you've got Bono Hoos taking P1 there. I think this is the grid from the official grid from Silverstone.
Yeah, well, this is vital for Bono Hoos as well, because if it is a draw, Redline, I can tell you, need a 1-2-3 as it stands in order to take the victory here today. Because if it goes to a draw, they have the same points. Bono Hoos, he's got 2 pole positions. That would take victory for Mercedes. So everything is going Mercedes' way. But you've got Redline, second and third. Kevin Siggy, who is usually our star performer, is starting at the back. Are we going to be seeing a great performance from him to get into the position that he needs, George?
He's got the pace, and we know that he's got the talent. This could be a sensational performance from Kevin Siggy. He needs a sensational performance to make it happen. A big start is what he needs. We've seen it in the relay races. They've brought it to task. Team Redline managed to get the jump. Enzo Benito was effective. They need Kevin Siggy to do exactly the same. A big start is necessary at Yas Marina.
This is the grand final. This is what it's all come down to. 7 weeks, 10 teams, 4 teams here on Yas Island. These drivers are the best of the best, and those gaps there, I think it was 0.2, 0.3 of a second separating all those drivers, and it just shows you how close it is, Steph.
Yeah, there's hardly anything in it. You know, that's going to be the way the grid lines up for this final team race. Bono Hoos, you know, he's absolutely rapid. He's right on the pace at the front there. Very unusual seeing Kevin Siggy behind. But again, what we're not seeing is these teams being 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5, 6, which means they have the added interest of, you know, options of what they can do. No one can run into the distance and have their teammates supporting them from behind. So it's a really interesting combination of a grid, and we'll have to see who ends out on top.
Well, team tactics are going to come into play here. We have seen it before, usually from the Mercedes team, where they will slow down the other drivers in order to help their teammates come back through the field. If one of the Redline drivers can jump on a Hoos at the start, will we see them hold up the Mercedes and try and get their team into a 1-2-3? Because Mercedes don't want to risk anything, do they?
Well, that's what they need to do. They need to utilise the team game, and you're absolutely spot on, Hayden, when you say that, because of course we've seen them, Team Redline certainly use that in the past. I would not write off the fact of them using that again.
We are moments away from the final race of Season 3 of the V10 R League. Like I said, 7 weeks of racing, 10 teams. It's all literally coming down to this race. Anyone can take it. You're the team manager of one of the teams. What would you be telling your drivers in this situation?
Look, this is the culmination of weeks and weeks and months of preparation, hard work. These guys spend hours on the sim, practicing this game, perfecting it, and we're about to see how perfect their skills really are. It's going to be the final race of the season. It all boils down to this. This is the culmination of everything they've been working for. George, the lights are on.
For the title All 6 lights are now lit, and it is pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. And Enzo Benito working hard to try and get ahead. They go side by side into turn 1. Benito, going wide there, Bono Ruiz, but he's back on track, side by side with Enzo Benito. Benito hits the front. Look at Jeffrey Rietveld as well, trying to get into second place. This could be a Redline 1-2 right from the get-go. Kevin Siggy working hard as well. Bono Ruiz trying to hold on to second. It's not enough. Rietveld now up into second place. Redline 1 and 2, Steph.
Oh, Bono Ruiz just not able to maintain that position at the front of the grid there. As you can see, all of these drivers lining up down this huge straight. Kevin Siggy not able to make a move just yet going into it as they all line up tightly to go into turn 6 and turn 7. There's nothing separating all 6 of these drivers. They are so close together. But as we come down another long straight, we can see some drivers jutting out again. That looks like Kevin Siggy in the background that's making a move there on Cedric Tomei, and it seems like he's got it done. And they're round the outside. They're still wheel to wheel, the both of them making moves, but it looks like Cedric Tomei has managed to keep it there for now. It's got Bono Ruiz, Jarno Opmeer, Cedric Tomei, P3, 4, 5, but they're being under attack from Kevin Siggy there in P6. He's right on the back of Cedric Tomei there, right on his heels.
Yeah, Tomei's job is very clear. Keep Kevin Siggy behind him. Therefore, the championship could fall into Mercedes' favour. Benito in first, Rietveld in second, Bono Ruiz there in third as well. Opmeer just marshalling the gap between the pair of Silver Arrows as well. They're currently sat 3, 4 and 5. There you can see Siggy still right in behind there, Cedric Tomei. Only a mere nearly 3/10 of a second separating them. The gap's thinner in amongst all this grid by a fly's eyelash. Nothing separating either car. Nose to tail between the bunch. As now we're seeing Bono Ruiz once again looking to charge this time on Jeffrey Rietveld. Now this is one of the main straights where the 80 brake horsepower, certainly the push-to-pass system, can be used. Ruiz now looking to work hard, looking to try and get ahead now of Jeffrey Rietveld as they head down in towards turn 6. Not quite able to get the momentum, but still they have another straight to take.
Yes, absolutely, George. It's a fascinating race, and we're watching it unfold in real time. These drivers as well, you can see them on the screen, completely focused and in amongst themselves. Look, Bono Ruiz again trying to make moves, trying to get even closer there to the front of Jeffrey Rietveld. But what a fantastic start from him, managing to get ahead of Bono Ruiz and now defending for his life. He's a fantastic defender. We've seen him countless times throughout the season being the defensive position of the team, and look what he's doing now. He's doing it absolutely fantastically, but it's not enough for Team Redline yet. Kevin Siggy not able to get past Cedric Tomei, again the defensive mastermind of the Mercedes team, and he's doing a brilliant job to hold back the force of Kevin Siggy right now.
Yeah, Tomei doing a wonderful job. Enzo Benito, 1:25.319, gives him the fastest lap of the race so far. That's purple for him, as now we're watching the cars work their way through the first sector, turns 1, 2 and 3. 4 will be next. They'll then have turn 5, this very progressive left-hander, which Enzo Benito will lead them through. Rietveld currently sat in second. Bono Ruiz still there, as well as Jarno Opmeer, who is right in the mix as well. Currently, the gaps, all the cars currently within a second right now, which is exactly what we need where it comes to a team race. Kevin Siggy now looking to try and gain on Cedric Tomei. He needs to try and get ahead because he wants to join his Redline counterparts up in Ps 1 and 2. That is where the title is on the line. Certainly, Bono Ruiz now in third, with Opmeer in fourth place as well. Certainly the Flying Dutchman doing a wonderful job in between his two counterparts. Tomei in fifth, Bono Ruiz in third. 6/10 away, Opmeer from Bono Ruiz as well, as they now work their way through this next left. Bono Ruiz now just working the car through, just gently progressing his way through the latter sector here at Yas Marina. Never a better site, never a better place to host a grand final, certainly here for the V10 R League, and it's only just getting started. We're at the halfway point, lap 3 of 6.
It's all happening in spectacular fashion at the Yas Marina circuit right now. We talked a bit about Mercedes and their tactical strategies, potential strategies for this race. Look, you've got Bono Ruiz attacking Jeffrey Rietveld there, but what we've seen and what we saw earlier on at the race in Silverstone was Bono waiting for the last laps to make a move stick. It's entirely possible he's doing the exact same thing right now, just waiting, biding his time and remaining calm, cool, collected, and just staying on the back of Jeffrey Reitveld there before launching an attack potentially on the next lap or the one after that.
Important to note that all the Team Redline drivers are Le Mans winners. They are Le Mans Virtual Series champions in 2021 and 22. And of course, Enzo Benito himself, E-Race of Champions, Riyadh champion as well. So very, very capable in behind a sim rig. Of course, Race of Champions is fielded with some of the greats in real-world racing and also sim racing as well. Benito coming out on top in that. And currently, he's on top in this particular race as well, is the Italian. Kevin Siggy, multiple sim racing champion. He's got a lot of work to do, but as we said earlier on, looking to jump into the real world racing with DTM trophy for 2023 in the path of Kevin Siggy. As we're now watching Bono Huis now make his way through the next right. And certainly sitting in third place, comfortable as it stands, but I'm sure he would like to be further up. Reitveld currently ahead of him by near enough 4.5 tenths of a second, now dipping into the 4 tenths as well. And dipping back out to 4.5 as they now round the final corner here in lap 4 of 6. They'll then begin the next lap now. Benito leads them through. Reitveld in second place. Bono Huis, they're still in tandem. Cedric Thome, though, we said how good a job he's doing against Siggy. 1:25.302 gives him the fastest lap.
Fantastic job from Cedric Thome, the defensive mastermind, as I'm now labeling him, of the Mercedes team. Brilliant job. You know, Kevin Siggy putting a lot of pressure on him there. And is that Bono who's going for the move on Jeffrey Reitveld? It is, but he's not close enough. Tried to dart up the inside, but there was just no room for him on the inside of turn 5 there. But heading down this long straight, he's closing in a little bit, and it's looking like it's time for him to make his move. Is he going to go for it going into turn 6? Yes, he is. He goes up the inside, but he goes deep into it, and Jeffrey Reitveld maintains the position in P2. Bono Huis has to settle for P3 right now, but there you go. He's right on the tail. He's really pushing. He's attacking for that second position now, Bono Huis, and his teammates behind him really close together, and Jeffrey Reitveld cannot let up now because he's being put under an immense amount of pressure.
Yeah, Bono Huis going for the lunge, trying to unsettle the car. Reitveld now swapping for the lead here with Enzo Benito. Now that could be an interesting move to say the least. They're now working their way through the final sector. Huis now as close as he's ever been, certainly to that of Enzo Benito. The gap now sat at 2 tenths of a second. We could be in for a barnstormer final lap at this point. Mercedes will want to make sure that they can secure the championship in proper and true fashion. We'll have to wait and see what Bono Huis has in his locker, as you see Benito immediately looking defensive heading through turn 1. Reitveld still in first place, Benito in tandem behind him too. Huis now third place, needs to try and marshal something down the long straight out of turn 5. They're now making their way down to that corner now. Reitveld taking it in behind as well. Benito trying to hold back the force of Bono Huis. Jarno Opmeer as well in the fray as well, and also in behind Cedric Thome. Kevin Siggy has dropped back to 1.3 seconds. Not ideal at all for Team Redline, as we're now watching the Silver Arrows make their way down through towards turn 6. Will Opmeer go for a swap too? Opmeer perhaps looking for a move on Bono Huis as they make their way through the next chicane out to turn 6, out of turn 7, pushing Enzo Benito around here on this final lap. There's nothing separating them here at this point, Steph. It's Sophie's choice right now.
It is. It's anybody's game. It's anybody's guess who's going to win. The Mercedes driver look like they're fighting each other a little bit. Is that Jarno Opmeer that's gone past Bono Huis, potentially on the attack? It's important to note that Redline needed the 1, 2, 3 to secure the win. The penalty from earlier has meant that they've taken less points home. So as they head into Sector 3, it looks like their hopes of winning this are slipping away, with Kevin Siggy remaining there in P6. But it looks like it's going to be Jeffrey Reitveld that's going to cross the line in P1.
Yeah, Jeffrey Reitveld venturing off the track now. That was Jarno Opmeer, but crossing the line for Team Redline. It is Jeffrey Reitveld, Enzo Benito in second. Bono Huis finishes in third place. Cedric Thome in fourth. Jarno Opmeer in fifth. Kevin Siggy in sixth. Could that be the title for Mercedes, Hayden Gullis?
An incredible race worthy of the grand final. Team Redline versus Mercedes. Redline took the race win, but the 1, 2, 3 that they needed was not there. So provisionally, as it stands, Mercedes are champions. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. We will confirm those scores very shortly, as we're just getting a few shots of the drivers, still calm and composed. Don't look like a team who have just potentially won the V10 R League series. This is how it all went down in that final race. An amazing start from the Redline drivers to jump Bonahus on the opening lap. Bonahus running wide there. He rejoined the track just behind both Enzo Benito and Jeffrey Reitfeld. Reitfeld getting past his teammate of Enzo Benito later on in the race as Reitfeld defending from both Hoos and also Jarno Opmeer as well. They were all scrapping at the back. The two Redline drivers managed to get into P1 and 2, but they needed Kevin Siggy to get into that third position, which did not happen, unfortunately. Reitfeld won the race, Benito was in second, and Steph, I believe you have one of the winning drivers.
I do indeed. I am here with Jarno Opmeer. Again, fierce battle between you and Team Redline. An absolutely scintillating race for us as the fans to watch. I'm sure it was scintillating to drive as well, on the edge of your feet.
Yeah, it was good racing, I think so. Sometimes a little bit over the edge, of course, but that's quite natural in these short races. I think we've seen it many times in the season already. That's why the stewards are so busy all the time. But yeah, I think it's very exciting. It was a very exciting race. I think we were really close against Team Redline, both in qualifying and in the races on pace, but it was just so close. So.
Yeah, and it was one of the closest battles you've seen this season. Obviously, we know that you and Redline had a 2-2 draw earlier on in the season. It was so close between you. It could have gone to a 2-2 draw, but you've managed to snake it. I believe the provisional results is 3-1 to you guys. I'm sure you must be buzzing.
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer for the final results before I start celebrating. But yeah, I think we're confident that we drove a pretty clean race. So yeah, we're gonna have to win and see.
Amazing. We'll chat to your teammates. I'm going to throw it back to Hayden. I'm sure we'll have the official results heading our way soon. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Steph. What a scorcher of a final, which is only fitting because we are here in Abu Dhabi and the heat is phenomenal. I can tell you that. We will be crowning our V10 R League champions very shortly, don't you worry, but that was such a brilliant race. Team Redline fighting there with Mercedes throughout the whole entire race. It was nip and tuck between the three of them, Enzo Benito and Jeffrey Reitfeld. Reitfeld, I think, potentially one of his first race wins of this series. So it's good to see him up at the front. Enzo Benito as well. They're backing up the team. But unfortunately, with Kevin Siggy, it just wasn't able to happen. Let's confirm the result after that racing. Having a look at it now. There we go. In the grand final, it's got down there 2-2 between Team Redline and Mercedes. So we will get information on that shortly on who is going to be the winner. No, it's written right there. Mercedes win on team race points. So Mercedes are crowned our V10 R League Series 3 2022 champions. They are going to be absolutely thrilled with that. There is their route to the final. You had Team Redline beating R8G, but unfortunately they fell at the final hurdle up against Mercedes, unfortunately, but they are going to be absolutely delighted with that one. Jarno Opmeer, Bonahus, and Cedric Tomei, three incredible drivers who have been brilliant all season, George.
Yeah, absolutely sensational. They did it where it counted as well. Many of them painted as the underdogs in this affair. You know, a lot of people thought Redline would have had the ability to take this win, and on paper, you'd certainly believe they would. You know, they came up against Mercedes, looked like the stronger of the two teams, but Mercedes have turned it around. Some big moments, some big moves. They made it where it counted. I would say the defensive effort was more impressive in that final race.
Mercedes didn't look too happy with the victory. They weren't celebrating straight away. Are they just, you know, they're just knackered from all that driving?
Definitely a little bit knackered, but also, you know, just waiting for the confirmation that they actually have won. And there you go. We had the confirmation now, so I'm sure they'll use this time to re-up their spirits, re-heighten the spirits, re-energize themselves now that it's confirmed they are the winners. We're going to have a little ceremony in a little bit, but a huge congratulations to them. It was a scintillating battle between the two teams today.
Yep, we are going to be crowning our world champions. When we come back from this break, we'll be heading over to the red button. So make sure you join us to crown our 2022 V10 R League World Champions. Welcome back to the grand final of the V10 R League. We have got champions. This is the final. This is where we find out who is our winner. And we've had some incredible races so far today. Mercedes taking on Team Redline. And it was so close. It was 2-2. Mercedes took it on team points in the races. Guys, it's been an incredible season for Season 3. If we had to pick a driver of the season, Steph, who would you pick?
Oh, well, there's many drivers to choose from. You know, we've had James Baldwin, who's been fantastic, Manuel Biancalia, who was from Aston Martin. But if we had to pick one, I'd say Bono Hoos definitely has to be up there. He's driven fantastically for Mercedes all season long and just been sensational.
Yeah, definitely. And would you have to agree with that, George? Bono Hoos is our driver of the season?
100%. Don't take anything away from the other drivers. Everyone's been staunch professionals, but yeah, Bono Hoos, definitely.
Well, should we wait no further? Should we bring out the winning team to get their hands on this trophy? Let's bring out the winners of the 2022 V10 R League Series. It's Mercedes! Welcome, welcome. You must be thrilled with that win, Jarno.
Yeah, for sure. It was a very tight battle, very hard battle, especially yesterday. It was pretty much a dogfight every single race. And today it was pretty similar again, just like in all qualifiers. So yeah, absolutely thrilled to come home and win the V10 R League final.
Well, I'm sure you're itching to get your hands on this trophy. I'm not going to be the one who gives it to you. We have got a special guest, the Executive Director of Finance for Abu Dhabi Motorsports Management. It's Ahmed Larry. Let's get you on the stage. Welcome, welcome. Handing over the trophy to our 2022 winners. There we go then, Mercedes, winners of the V10 R League for Season 3 in 2022. What a season it has been. We have had drama throughout 7 weeks of racing. We started off with 10 teams. We got down to 4 here on Yas Island, and now we have our champions. We will see you again when we return next time for the V10 R League. Thank you very much to Steph Wentworth and George Morgan on the commentary side. Thank you to everybody watching as well. And thank you as well to all of our teams. They have been absolutely sensational all season long. We've had some great battles, great action for all of you to enjoy, and hopefully we will return very soon for Season 4 of the V10 R League. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Welcome to the grand final of the V10 R League.
Here we go at Silverstone. Race 1 is underway. Oh, he's in front. Mercedes take the first win here in the relay race. Go, 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 go. They bang wheels, they touch. He very nearly loses it. Redline get their first win. Pedal to the metal in Yas Marina.
And there's contact between the two of them.
They scream Yas, Jeffrey Rierfeld. Team Redline take victory for the title. All 6 lights are now lit.